It's been a little over 7 weeks since my crash, but today marks my return to the trails with a bikepacking adventure that I am very excited for. The Capital Divide, a route stretching over 600 miles from the capital of Scotland in Edinburgh to the capital of England, London. My journey will take me through the stunning Pentland Hills, the rugged hilly trails of Northumberland, the North Pennines, and the rolling hills of the Yorkshire Dales. From there, I'll head to the east coast, making my way to the scenic Lincolnshire Wolds before making my way into the bustling heart of London, finishing my journey at Big Ben. This is no small task for me, especially as my first ride in quite some time. But it's an adventure I have been eagerly counting down the days to be finally able to embark on, to be able to get back on the trails, to experience the ever-changing terrain and experience the challenges ahead that an adventure like this brings. I can't wait to experience the beauty and diversity of the British countryside once more, as I pedal my way from one capital to another.
This might be one ride that I'm not actually sure if I'm ready for, but you know what? I want to get back on the bike with a bang. A massive Capital Divide. This time, the true off-road version. Oh yeah, feels good to be back on the bike, although I'm so unfit.
Heading into the evening sun with the fields filled with colour as I headed into the Pentland Hills, the sun shining, the warmth on my skin, a feeling I have missed, a feeling I had almost forgotten. My legs, my lungs had also forgotten the feeling of pedalling these steep hills.
Oh, what a view. The sun just starting to set over there. Oh, it feels so good to be back on the bike, although it feels quite hard to breathe. It's currently 8 o'clock. I spent most of the day getting to Edinburgh, so it's quite a short day to start out with, but it's quite nice because the sun doesn't actually like fully set until about 9:30. It's about 8 o'clock now, so we've got about an hour and a half. So it's going to start getting dark pretty soon, but going to start heading downhill and just hopefully find somewhere to set up the tent and get my breath back. It feels good to be back on the trails though. Let's go find camp.
Oh, good morning, good morning. Joining me today, about maybe like 5 or 6 miles away from Peebles. I have managed to set up camp in like a little woods. Not the greatest place, but it had to do because I had to sort of just go into the darkness a bit to find somewhere. And I've got a slight issue with the bike, which I'm hoping we're going to be able to fix in Peebles. But let me get up, put this tent away, and I'll show you. Okay, so probably can't really see it on camera, but this bearing in this jockey wheel is essentially near enough exploded. It kind of moves forward when you pedal with the force. You can feel it grinding. You can't pedal it backwards, so the chain just gets all slack. Luckily for me, it is mostly downhill to Peebles, and there is a couple bike shops there, so I'm hoping I can just find a couple new jockey wheels there, because I obviously haven't got any on me today. Fingers crossed for that. They don't open till 10, so I've slept in quite late, but hopefully when we get there I can grab some breakfast, chill out a bit, and go and hopefully fix this bike. I was hoping to get up really early because of how late the sun goes down and how early the sun comes up. I mean, it wasn't even dark at like 10:30, 11 o'clock last night, really. I want to ride quite into the day, like into the evening, into the night, just before it gets dark. And then also get up really early on this trip, and because the weather's looking pretty good for the next week pretty much, and I want to see some good sunrises. So we're gonna not be lazy if we can get this bike fixed from now on, and we're gonna get out nice and early and just enjoy them sunsets and sunrises, hopefully. Right, let's go downhill. Hopefully the bike lasts until Peebles, otherwise we'll have to walk. Let's go fix this bike and get some breakfast.
It wasn't the start to the adventure I had hoped for, but as I left from the woodlands where I had slept, the sight of the lush green landscape reminded me why I do this: to be surrounded by nature. Despite not being able to pedal just quite yet, I was simply happy to be back on these trails again.
£47 for some jockey wheels. No wonder bike shops are going out of business, seriously. I normally pay like 10 quid. This is 5 times the price. I mean, it's probably not so much the bike shop's fault, more SRAM's fault, but £47. I think it would have been cheaper to just go home and buy new bearings. Damn. But we are now back underway. The bike is working. I'm £47 short, but we're on our way to London. The sky is blue, the sun is shining. I will have to stop in a minute and put some sun cream on because my skin is not used to it. But we got some beautiful cycle tracks to cruise along coming out of Peebles. I've probably got around 70, probably less than that now, 60 miles until we get to the Scottish-England border. So I would quite like to get there today. I think that would be really cool. Oh, tunnel. We'll see what happens, but it'd be really cool to like camp on the border, I think. Up high, could be good. Right, let's go and enjoy this sunny day of bikepacking. Woo!
Every challenge is a doorway to new opportunities, and with my bike now fixed, I felt the freedom to continue my journey along the Capital Divide, flowing alongside the River Tweed, teeming with life. I soaked in the natural beauty around me. Before long, I found myself ascending into the dusty forest tracks, spinning my legs for the first climb of the day. The midday sun beamed down from the sky as I pedaled along the endless, perfect forest trails.
I'm not complaining, I promise, but it's too hot, too hot. I'm gonna get to the top of this climb, I think, and rehydrate and just try to get a bit of shade for a little bit. Typical British. It's too wet, it's too cold, it's too hot. Doing good though, making good progress. Beautiful route so far, if I don't say so myself. But yeah, done 35 miles, so time for a little break. Hot, hot, hot. This is a good place to stop. Oh, it's so hot, so I probably won't stay here too long because I'll just get burnt, but perfect place for a quick snack. Oh god, the trails have been so good. Fast rolling, following the river, gravel, oh it's just so good. But like I say, it's really hot, for me anyway. Luckily there's lots of nice cold streams to get water from. But yeah, I'm gonna stop here. I think I've got like 10 miles maybe until we come through a little town, village. I'm not even sure what it is. But hopefully there'll be a little shop and we can maybe get an ice lolly or something. But 30, nearly 40 miles done today. Definitely can tell I haven't been riding too much. But this is how we get back into it. Oh, it's nice. I'm just going to sunbathe for a little bit and eat some food and then crack on. I think there's maybe another 40 miles until the border. So try and get there today at least. What a day. Currently at about 60 miles, just over 60 miles now. Just have a quick wash. It's just so hot. It's currently about 6:30, but I'm very, very close now to getting to the border, less than 10 miles, but it is all uphill. And funnily enough, as I head into Northumberland and to cross that border, at the border is the highest point of the Scottish section of this this ride. But yeah, it's getting hot, man. Too hot. I'm just gonna cool off here, have a little wash, and then crack on and get above get to that border before sunset, which is not for ages anyway. Oh, it feels so good. I can definitely feel it in my legs. I can definitely tell I have not ridden in a while. Right, uphill we go.
Making the most of the tree-covered Roman road, I sheltered from the afternoon sun, getting closer and closer to that border. The afternoon felt magical as I glanced back at the hilly, winding country lanes I had conquered. But even more importantly, I looked ahead, focusing on where I needed to get to before the sun would set. Northumberland was in my sights. Them big lumps in the distance, that's the border, that's where we're going. Northumberland, the border of Scotland and England. One descent and then one climb, and then hopefully find somewhere to sleep for the night. Oh, it's been a good day. It's been a good day. Sun getting lower and lower in the sky, now shining on my back as I neared the Scotland-England border. Just one big climb laid ahead of me. But just before I could make it to that border crossing, I stumbled across the most perfect spot to set up my tent for the night. I would watch the sun disappear behind the rolling hills before a peaceful night listening to the gentle stream running between the hills.
Yeah, why not? One more day of the smelly socks. Bikepacking, embrace the smelly feet. It's nice and early. It's about 5 AM. Just gonna get out of the tent. Yesterday was such a good day. Everything really, to be honest, after the initial fixing the bike, just felt really good. It felt like I was always going in a downhill direction. I just love it when you're descending and then your descent turns into another descent. It's just so good. I didn't quite get over to the border. I'm very close, probably a mile away. I just found the perfect camp spot, so I had to stop. But today we're heading into Northumberland. As I'm heading into Northumberland, right at the start, really early, and the Northumberland section on this route is around 60 miles. I think for the next couple days, what I'm going to try and do is today I'm going to try and get through Northumberland. The next day I'm going to try and get through the Pennines, and then possibly the next day, which will be the hardest one, will be get all the way through the Yorkshire Dales. It could be a good challenge, but yesterday felt like it was all downhill, but today's start, well, it's not. Oh. Tell you what, it's fresh out here this morning. The sun hasn't got to us yet, so today my start isn't quite a nice flowy downhill or a nice pedally gravel section. It's a bit of a hike, a very steep hiker bike as I head up and sort of around this hill. And where that's, you don't know if you can see it, but that bit of sun on the hill there, that's pretty much the border. Once we get up to there, we're at the border, we're crossing to England, and we're into Northumberland. So I'm going to pack this tent up because, oh my god, it's cold out here this morning. And let's get warmed up hiking up this hill. Oh, it's good. This is a good camp spot though. I did think about camping in here. I wonder if it's as wet out. I did think about camping in this little sheep pen because there was quite a good ground there, but where I was, I had the beautiful sound of the stream coming past, so it was super perfect really. Just as I got into the tent now, I couldn't stay out here too long because the midge did start to come, but it's so cold right now, they're either frozen or they pissed off, thank god. Right, let's get this tent packed up before they arrive again, and let's go uphill. Up we go. England, here we come. Here we go.
Early in the morning, I faced a steep challenge, pushing my bike higher and higher up the hills. The morning sun greeted me. Its warmth on my skin felt incredible after the cold, fresh start. Reaching the top of this climb, I was met with an overwhelming stillness. The glistening sun hung in the sky, with no wind and no movement, just pure tranquility.
Now back in England. A little bit more climbing to go until I get to the top of this hill for a bit of a descent. Today is Sunday, which is like the worst day for bikepacking, I think, because trying to like find somewhere that's open in these tiny little villages and stuff to resupply is always a nightmare. I've probably got enough that I can get through most of today with the food I've got, if I'm careful if I ration it a bit. But hopefully I'll find somewhere. I know Holt Whistle will be like the main place. I will be going through a couple of little places, but nothing too significant. Right, wet feet from the boggy trails, but we are now back in England and the sun is still shining. Yes. Top. That was one long slog. We made it. It's all downhill from now, right? Look at the views. It's incredible up here this morning. Well, I'm gonna have to take a route detour now. I'm gonna be going down here to get through to like a forest track or the other end. But as you can see, all the trees have fallen down. I think there's another way around, but it's kind of long to go all the way around and then back round. It's just turned into one long ass slog. I know once I get on through this bit of woods, it's really nice gravel trails, but whether I can or not remains to be seen. Oh god. Well, that's a big fat nope. You know, the telltale sign that you're back in England, it's these things. Gates. Gates after gates after gates.
Despite a less than smooth start to the day, it was a relief to finally find myself back on the trail I had set out for. Another day of epic adventure awaited me, with Northumberland posing new challenges with every pedal I turned, the steep and incredible gravel roads making each turn of them pedals a test of strength and determination.
Beautiful, brutal day. Just come through Otter, I don't know, and along all the military roads. Man, them roads are fun. The long ass descents, long ass climbs, but generally it was good. Today has been very slow going. After this morning, all that hike a bike, I've only done about 40 miles. I've got about 30 until Holt Whistle. I don't think I'm going to quite get there. I might. It's already about 4:30, 4, I don't even know, 4 I think. So I'm just going to try and do 20 miles or so, 25. I know I've camped just before Holt Whistle before, so I know a good little spot that I can pitch up for the night. But we got a bit more climbing to do. And then tomorrow we'll be going into the North Pennines, so that'll be fun. But just had some nice cold drinks, sugar, strawberries, well, strawberries in a tin, but you know, they're good. So now let's get these next 20 or so miles done, and let's find somewhere nice to camp. Finally stopped for the day. I actually managed to do just over 65 miles, I think it was. I've got a few miles away until I'm technically out of Northumberland, I can't say it now. That's it. Oh, midge. Yeah, it was a brutal day. It was bloody beautiful, but brutal. From this morning, everything was very wet, so this is my jacket drying here. I've set up the tent, however, it's very wet, so I'm just sort of letting it dry out a bit. Let the inner dry out. The real problem with this tent is too big. I camped here perfectly with the Soloist. This one's just too wide. It's just hard to get into places. I'm having brake issues. Issues being basically don't have any brakes. My rear one, I had to change the pads earlier, and I think, to be honest, I can fix it. I just need to take it off. I think one of the pistons is just not moving. And then the front one, I have no idea what it's doing, because it sort of works, and then like if I'm pushing it, it works, but then when I'm going fast, it just doesn't really do anything. So I'll have a look at that in the morning, I think. Right, anyway, stop waffling on. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. Whew, Northumberland, you were tough. Good morning, good morning. That was such a good sleep. Oh, I slept from like 9:30 to about 6 this morning. So I'm feeling quite revived from yesterday's ordeal. But today we got to go to Holt Whistle, pick up a few supplies, try fix these non-existent brakes. Before we get on into today, first point of call is to get to Holt Whistle, just a couple miles away, and then fix the brakes and get some resupplies before slowly but gradually heading to the highest point on this ride for the whole entire trip actually. So that should be fun. I've done the climb many times, but I must have brakes to do the descent. Right, off to Holt Whistle we go. Oh, it was so peaceful last night. Midge around this morning though. Let's go. Oh, let's go. So far, the rear brake is now working. The piston, it was the piston. One of them was just stuck, so that's just like popped out eventually, and now the rear brake's working. So I'm looking at the front brake because it's been just like, it's felt really lacking of power, which was worrying because normally that means either air in the system or I don't know. But looking at it now, no pad in. If I press the lever, the pistons do move, but there looks like there's some fluid, some hydraulic fluid coming out beside the piston as well. So it looks like the pistons are knackered and seals are obviously fucked. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix this. I'm just going to play around, put a new set of pads in, maybe push the pistons in a bit more, I don't know, we'll see. I'll see what I can do. Wasn't fluid, I don't know, but they're working, kind of. A bit squeaky, but they're working.
Yet another day on this adventure began with a new problem to solve, but it seemed I had managed to overcome it, at least for today. My morning unfolded with an easy pedal along the old railway line, leading me to the incredible Lamley Viaduct, picturesque viaduct built in 1852. This Victorian gem was once a vital part of the railway line between Alston and Holt Whistle until its closure in 1976. Standing over 100 feet tall and stretching 850 feet long, it impresses me every time I get to cycle over it. It's so windy. I'm just about to get to the hiker-bikey part and I've just got a headwind funneling through this valley. It's just going to be crazy, and The weather can't really make up its mind. I knew I wouldn't get the whole way to London without any rain, but it's like the clouds that are passing by, they're carrying a bit of rain. We got a hike. I am making quite good progress though, but I think I'm going to put my jacket on now because this wind is quite cold. I'm not really looking forward to this hiker bike. Normally, this hiker bike isn't really that hard because it's not overly steep, but there really isn't a trail to follow, so it can be a bit boggy. But once you get to the top, the descent is awesome. Right, let's try and climb this. First things first, let's get a jacket on, it's getting cold. Ah, yes. Time for some bog. This is what I mean. Like the trail, it just looks really good and then it just ends. And then where it's just all like torn away from the river and then it sort of picks up again there. It's really quite random. But it's just a hike through some bog and some awkward trails that aren't really trails. You gotta be a bit careful on this bit because it isn't much of a path to follow. I found myself battling the elements as I made my way to the highest point of this adventure, pedaling when possible and resorting to pushing my bike when necessary, following closely to the winding rocky river as the wind tried to push me back. Right, I'm nearly at the top now. I'm at 2,157 feet high. The top is just up there along that ridge line. Normally by now, you have like a nice view, you can see the observatory, but today you can't see that. So you don't really have like that visual guide, that visual goal of getting there. But behind me, looks bloody sunny. Up there, not so much, a bit cloudy. So we're gonna be descending through the clouds. I think the top of this hill is about 2,400, 2,500 feet. We're nearly there. Here we are, we're at the top. There's a great view that way, although the clouds are rolling in. It's time to descend, the awesome descent. Let's just check the brakes. Yeah, rear one's working. How's the front one? Okay, it looks like it's working. I'm just gonna take it easy down here. I'm gonna control my speed and not go too fast because anything over like 25 mile an hour, it just seems to not feel that great. But let's see. Let's just do a little test. Oh, my horn's working, that's good. I love this descent. I just wish my brakes were working fully. And these chutes don't fall out. Gonna take it nice and slowly. Oh, it's sunny over there.
Oh, the sun's out, kind of guns out. Going to be now heading over to the Yorkie Dales. Probably got about 10 miles until we get to something Kirkby Stephen. Is that the one? Terrible with names, obviously. The sun is shining now. I'm making good progress actually now today. Done about 45 miles, probably a bit more now. But I'm hoping to get to the Yorkshire Dales tonight so I can find somewhere to camp. It's currently about 4 p.m, so plenty of time, plenty of daylight left. And yeah, should be good. I've got like a long drag for the next, I don't know, 20 or so miles. So let's go to the Yorkie Dales. And, yo! Right, let's go to the Yorkie Dales.
A great feeling knowing I was getting ever closer to leaving the hills behind, but there was just one more hilly national park to get through. The Yorkshire Dales, a place I love to ride, with its endless windy roads and descents. I would push myself to get deep into the Yorkshire Dales tonight, while the weather was looking good and my bike was working well, enjoying the epic views that the Dales are famous for. I would pedal up high to find a spot for my tent tonight. I would sit back and watch as the clouds rolled over the hills in the distance. Those clouds rolling over the hills from the west always means one thing. I would be waking up to a whiteout. Waking up in a cloud was one thing, but with the wind howling and my brake not working at all today, it meant my next few miles to Bainbridge would mostly be hiking, riding only when the hills were against me. I would try to fix the brake as I did the previous day, but nothing was working. I tried to push on into the wind up along the old Roman road, while the wind would try to push me back the way I had come. But ultimately, this adventure had to end. I wouldn't make it this time. Sometimes letting go or giving up is just a temporary detour. A detour to return stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what lies ahead. While the bike may have let me down and I might have had to bail on the ride, that doesn't mean this 600-mile Capital Divide adventure is over. Oh no. After failing to fix the brake on the gravel bike, I returned home, grabbed the ever-reliable bomb track and headed back to where I had left off in the Yorkshire Dales. Returning to the small village of Kettlewell, with the low clouds now gone, I was greeted by the steep, rugged, yet beautiful Yorkshire Dales landscape in the hot sun for a change. The rolling hills, clear as day as I would get back underway climbing the rugged Yorkshire Dale trails.
Wow, I couldn't fix the sonder, so a bit of a tactical bike change. We are now on the bomb track and back on the trails. Funny thing is, after around 20-30 miles, I'm pretty much out the Yorkshire Dales, and this bike is completely overkill. I made this route mostly gravel friendly, but if anywhere I would want the bomb track, it's basically all behind me now. Today, as I started a bit late, I'm gonna try and get out of the Yorkshire Dales and sort of towards York, maybe a little bit past York today. But first, let's descend this beautiful, beautiful road.
With not much left of the beautiful Yorkshire Dales terrain to overcome, I would make the most of the bright skies and late sunsets, pedalling my way along the amazing gravel tracks with epic views in every direction. A perfect blend of challenge and beauty, making my way up the steep tracks to be greeted with the epic view of Scar House Reservoir.
It's already 7:30. Don't know where the day's gone. Did start late, but oh well. Done about 20 odd miles. I'm over all the hard stuff now, so just a nice easy pedal out of the Yorkshire Dales. Being 7:30, still got a couple of hours till sunset, but ideally I'll find somewhere still in the Dales where it's a bit quieter before heading towards York. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll find a nice little spot though. Yeah, wow. Just making some friends with the cows. They're behind a fence, so I'm okay. Don't want me to stroke them. It's getting, it's about 8:30 now, so about an hour until the sun sets. Coming along this bridleway, goes up, and there's lots of trees here. So I'm kind of fingers crossed I'm going to be able to camp in there. Just grabbing some water because it's quite hot. Look how many there are. They're all just coming. You like really friendly. Maybe not. Right, let's go get to camp. Hopefully it's just there. Damn. I couldn't find anywhere to camp in that woods. Bit too much on the hill. Epic views though. And I am now going downhill again. So I'll just keep following the route and then hopefully find somewhere to camp. Probably still got an hour until the sun sets. Doesn't really get dark, so let's go downhill.
Good morning. Good morning. It's looking quite nice out here. Yesterday, though, just as I was like trying to find somewhere to camp, big rainbow appeared, and then I was heading into the rain. It started to raining literally just as I found somewhere to set up the tent. That was a bit annoying. Always the way. But managed to find a little woodlands. Yeah, so I was lucky. It wasn't until like 10 o'clock I found it, so kind of a late night, about 5:30 at the moment. So you're going to get underway. Got about 20 miles until York. Heading over towards like Hull, over the Humber Bridge, and then to the Lincolnshire Wolds. So ideally that'd be a good place to get to for the whole day. I don't know how many miles that is, but the Humber Bridge is at about 60 miles. I think it was during COVID or something, they basically made, like, if you want to cycle over the Humber Bridge, you have to basically like phone up and stuff before this ride. That's not the case anymore, but it is shut after like 9:30 or something. So I've got to make sure I get at least to the Humber Bridge before then. I should be able to do that. It's a pretty flat day ahead of us as we head over to York now, and then it's just nice and flat pretty much all the way, pretty much all the way on the rest of this trip now. I can hear rain, I can hear rain.
Where'd that lush, beautiful sunshine go from yesterday? It's light showering, so today might be the day we get a little bit wet. Hopefully we'll be able to outrun the clouds. Let's go to York. Ugh.
I would be greeted this morning with rain, just a constant drizzle, the dark clouds blocking that blue sky from yesterday. But now that I was over all the steep and rugged terrain, this morning made for some easy pedalling as I got ever nearer to the beautiful cathedral city of York, where I would outrun them dark clouds and once more see the bright sky.
Wow, that was a beautiful morning. Nice little pedal to York. It was actually a bit further than I thought. It was about 30 miles. So we've got about 40 until the Humber Bridge. It's currently 10:30. I was so thirsty, I ran out of water. I've only got one bottle on me because I broke my other one trying to clean the little rubber spout thing. Apparently it doesn't come off. So yeah, I was so thirsty. Ooh, what's that? Oh my god, look at this cycle path. Anyway, 40 miles to the Humber Bridge and it's all nice and flat, so should be fairly quick going. And yeah, let's just go and see what the day has in store for us. I'm just hoping the rain will stay off me and we can get to the Lincolnshire Wolds today. Nice.
Discovery is human nature, and I would find myself discovering a really cool cycle path called the Solar System Way, where I would be on a journey through the solar system. But I had a very important mission ahead of me today, to find
This cycle path's got everything. Velomobiles, the solar system, probes, Uranus.
leaving the solar system and back on the lush green planet Earth. My afternoon would continue with some easy pedaling as the big tyres soaked up the flat trails, making the miles feel smooth and effortless. Dodging the summer showers and following the disused railway lines, I enjoyed the constant drizzle that kept the landscape vibrant and green.
Making solid progress. I've done like 55 miles. I think I've got around 15 miles until we get to the bridge. Today has just been fast going, but because everything's so flat, it's one of them days I do really wish I was on the gravel bike, because everything being flat, everything's very pedally. There's no downhills, and as much as I love the bomb track, it doesn't pedal as good as gravel bike. Going to be getting to the bridge in an hour or 2 hours or so. Hopefully it's all okay, we can go over it. It does get pretty windy on that bridge as well, so let's go find this bridge. Now every time I come back off like an injury or just not riding for a long time, I always quite like to try and do a 100-mile on one of these trips. If there's any day it's going to be possible to do it, it could be today, but we'll see. 100 miles on the bomb track's a bit. Whew. Right, let's go find this bridge. Wow, it's nice and wet again. I get dry, then I get wet. But as you can see over there, there's the bridge. And the good news is, over there where I'm going, the sky's blue. Hopefully these clouds are just gonna stay here. I'm looking forward to getting across. I've done 70 miles today. Just been able to steamroll through these miles. I'm probably not going to try and do too many more, maybe another 20. If I do 20 though, I'll be very close to 100. We'll see. I want to camp in the Lincolnshire Wilds tonight. So yeah, let's go up on this bridge. I checked the website and it said the status is open and everything, and it says an average wind speed is like 28 miles an hour, so might be a bit blowy up there. We'll see.
The Humber Bridge spans the Humber estuary, connecting the East Riding of Yorkshire on the north bank to North Lincolnshire on the south bank. Officially opened to traffic on June 24th, 1981. It took 8 years to build the Humber Bridge, during which time workers endured some of the UK's worst weather conditions. At times, over 1,000 people worked on the bridge at once. And at the time of it being built, it was the longest single-span suspension bridge in the world, with a total length of 2,220 meters. It is currently only the 12th longest though.
Sun's out, and more importantly, I'm dry again. I've actually done 85 miles so far. It's currently 7 PM, so a couple of hours now until sunset. But while it's dry, while I'm dry, while the sun is shining, I really want to find somewhere to camp because I don't want to get into camp wet. So it's looking quite nice now, but it's been looking quite nice all day, and then it's just been raining and then stopping. So I'm hoping to find somewhere. I think it's meant to rain tonight as well, so ideally little woodlands would be nice. There's so many little woodlands around, but you just can't get to them. They're always off route or not, or just where there's no right of way. Rubbish. But yeah, 7 o'clock, 85 miles. Don't think I'm going to hit the 100. Maybe 90, but we'll see. Depends how hard it is to find somewhere to camp, I guess. Hopefully not that hard, because look at this sun. It's blinding. Well, it's blinding you, not me. Right. Bedtime. Well, I think I just hit the jackpot. I was looking at this woods from where I was cycling. I was like, oh, it'd just be great if the trail would just go there. And lo and behold, it did. It went there. and it means I'm going to get a good night in the woods. I'm going to set up here somewhere, just wandering around really. Ended up on 88 miles, so I didn't really have to go too far. Oh, what a good day. But this shows how flat it is. 88 miles, 2,300 and some change feet of elevation gain. Currently around 7:30, 8 o'clock, so about an hour until the sun sets, so I guess get to chill, make the ground nice, and just relax and listen to nature and that plane. I bumped into a viewer of the channel. Actually, I bumped into a couple today, and one of them, thanks Adam, gave me my dinner for tonight. We got a, I think he said it's black pudding sausage roll. Looks pretty good to me. So dinner's sorted, and yeah, it's gonna be a good night. A nice peaceful night. Tomorrow, it looks like on the weather map, there's just like a big rain cloud incoming. I'm hoping it's not going to last all day and it'll just be for like a couple of hours or something, but as we get further south, hopefully we'll get some summer weather. But as always, I'll see you bright and early in the morning. Paper.
Oh, good morning, good morning. It's a very wet morning. It's been raining for the last couple of hours now. Doesn't look like it's going to stop for another couple more hours. Yeah, so it's going to be another wet day by the looks of it. Hopefully we can outrun it. Just would quite like some summer weather. I'd like it to just be dry. All this wet weather, bringing all the slugs out. Slugs everywhere. Oh, I'm gonna have to put this tent away in the wet this morning.
I think I must have had the best spot last night for camping and like generally keeping quite dry, because I heard the rain, and it wasn't until like 40 minutes later that the actual rain started hitting my tent. This tree did a good job last night. Thank you, tree. And I've packed away, and it is still raining. At least in this woods it's still raining. And I'm pretty much dry. Thanks again, tree. Right, onwards towards London we go.
Leaving the shelter of the leafy canopy behind me this morning, the rain clouds that I was pedalling away from all day yesterday had finally caught up in the night, and I was in for a wet start to my day today as I headed into the Lincolnshire Wolds, meeting the first hills since leaving the Yorkshire Dales.
Finally it stopped raining. Very grey clouds, but it has stopped raining. And I'm making quite good progress, done about 16 miles, 17 miles, something like that. And I do have one issue, and it's that my Garmin's not charging. I think it's just the cable. I think it's where it's just got soaking wet. So I'm going to let everything dry out, and hopefully I'll be able to plug it back in. When I was putting this route together was that I wanted to come through the Lincolnshire Wolds obviously, but it's quite hard to find good off-road trails around here. There are a few, but most of them are all just going in the opposite direction that you want to. Apart from this one I'm on now, which is beautiful. Cruising through the woods, drying out. Now that is a good day. Let's just hope I can stay dry from now on. I would really love some summer weather right now. Right, let's keep going through the Lincolnshire Wolds and let's keep making progress.
Deeper and deeper into the Lincolnshire Wolds, making my way through the rolling hills. I pedalled through the now wet fields. The clouds moved past, gradually giving way to the sun, making it feel like summer once more.
Time to leave the Lincolnshire Wolds, heading now towards Boston, I think it is. I've got about 15 miles to get there. I do need to get there fairly soonish because I have no water again. And there's barely anywhere to filter water around here. Right, 15 miles, getting hungry. Bring on Boston. Just leaving Boston now. Had something to eat. I feel really just not good. I really struggle to actually eat anything. Drank lots, but yeah, struggling to eat a bit. I've done about 60 miles so far today, and I'm in the flatlands now again for the second time on this trip. And the wind has really picked up. It's really quite blowy. And as I was saying this morning, I'm a bit worried about where I'm going to camp tonight, and that's because in about 10 miles I'm going to be going around these marshlands, and it just basically means there's nowhere to camp. So it pretty much means from now I'm going to have to push on to King's Lynn. I reckon that's probably around, I don't know, 30 to 40 miles until we get there. So I might actually reach that 100-mile target today. If I can get past King's Lynn, maybe even onto the Peddars Way, then I can definitely find somewhere to camp. But it's currently 3 PM, 60 miles done, and I've just forced some food down, but I'm just feeling pretty. I'm hoping Right now the wind is kind of in my face or on the side, so I'm really hoping that as I start to turn towards the coast bit, it's not so much, it's behind me, push me along. At least the sun's shining.
After leaving Boston, I would be heading back into the flatlands where I would find myself with the wind pushing me along the seabank, which was a great relief as I was getting ever closer to that 100-mile goal that I had set myself. And this evening was the perfect day to achieve that goal as I made it to King's Lynn as the sun was starting to get lower in the sky. It would be such a calm and peaceful evening.
Finished for the day. We made it. 107 miles in total. That was a long ass day, but happy to finally get that 100 miles out of the way. I'm basically probably within about 10 miles away from the Peddars Way, kind of like between the Peddars Way and King's Lynn. Beautiful, beautiful sunset tonight, but perfect point as well. 107 miles, and I found this beautiful little woodlands where I can set up my tent, and if I get bored in the night, hopefully nobody lands on me, there's a little jump. So the mountain bikers have already been here, but this should be a perfect little spot. And then tomorrow we're going to get onto the Peddars Way, and then Icknild's Way, then London. Not exactly sure how many miles I've got to go. I think around like 160, maybe 150. I don't know. I'll check tomorrow because my Garmin is doing the thing where it's going to randomly just give me like another 100 miles because it's currently saying I have like 50 miles to go, which I don't. To get onto the Peddars Way and the Icknild's Way, it's just super nice and flowy. It's easy to follow and it should be fun. But as always, I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We're getting there. We're making progress. Good morning, and what better way to start than in the beaming sun. Oh, it feels good. The sky is so blue. There's only a couple of clouds today. Feels good to be waking up knowing that I'm dry. It doesn't look like it's going to be raining. The weather feels good, and I'm feeling good. Last night, after getting into camp, I swear where I camped was like the noisiest woods ever. All night you had the deer shouting at each other, and then by the time they stopped and finally went to bed, you had the birds, and it was basically time to get up. But today I'm just coming through a place called Roydon, I think. Probably like 5 miles until we get onto the Peddars Way for some nice flowy, gravelly trails. It's gonna be good. I feel good. So last night I had twitchy legs after the 107 miles, so every now and again my legs would just be like, and that would wake me up. But I'm good, and I'm looking forward to today with this blue sky, blinding sun, and I've only got 140 or so miles to go. So let's get that under 100 miles today, at least. Probably a lot more. We might be able to finish tomorrow, possibly, depending on how the day goes. Let's go into this sun. Let's see what the day brings.
Today was an incredibly refreshing morning, waking up with the glow of the morning sun and the fields full of colour. Getting on to them familiar trails where I was able to pedal on to the beautiful village of Castle Acre, a once fortified town and still possesses one of its gates, the Bailey Gate. Castle Acre was one of the finest examples of Norman town planning in the country, and much of this can still be seen today.
Yesterday, I think I caught the sun a bit too much and I'm a bit burnt, so today I'm trying to keep on top of it. But I'm doing really well. Today though, I am feeling like really good. My legs just feel so strong. They don't feel like I've done 100 miles yesterday, so that's good. I've done about 26 miles so far, and yeah, it's just, I mean, it's easy riding, it's nice and flowy. And apparently, according to McGowan, I've got 17 miles left to go, which is obviously wrong. Who knows, maybe we'll teleport again, or not again. But I'm just going to chill here for a bit, get some shade, put some sun cream on, and then probably in about 10-15 miles, we're going to be going into around like the Thetford Forest, around should be some nice gravel roads around there. And then today's plan really is just to try and get kind of as close to London as possible, but not too close because obviously it's built up. And I still need one more night under the stars and to get on the Icknield Way and find somewhere to camp along there. But it's just so nice and so peaceful. Nobody's around. So it's a good way to spend your Monday morning. Right, I'm going to sun cream up, maybe have a little snack, and down the nice gravelly roads we go.
Well, that has just been absolutely lovely. Just cruising through the woodlands, just making progress. It's so nice with the shade. It's getting a bit cloudy, but I think they're friendly clouds today, hopefully. I've got around 5-6 miles until I get to a place called Tuddenham. I'm hoping there's a shop there. I think there's a shop there because I'm getting very low on the water again, and it'd be good to have a little break. And we pick up the Icknields Way just before then, but yeah, so we're nearly on the Icknields Way now. And I've done about 50 miles so far today. It's about 1:30, so probably do another 20 or 30 today. It's such a good day when everything just runs smoothly. They are the days you've got to try and remember. But just cruising along some gravel right now. I'm feeling a little tired now, but I think it's just because I'm thirsty. Let's go to Tuddenham. And fingers crossed, let's shop. Wow, Tuddenham turns out it didn't have any shops, and the pub, well, the pub was shut. Bloody Mondays. So I took a little detour off the route to a little place called Red Lodge. Very strange place. It's just a massive housing estate with like a shop, just one shop, but it was a good shop. Got some ice lollies, loaded up on water, and drank a load of water, so we're good to go. I've done just over 60 miles. Probably going to try and do another 20 more. It's actually quite a nice temperature now, got a bit of cloud cover, so feeling alright again, feeling alive. Hoping to finish tomorrow if possible. I don't actually know how many miles we got because I'm not on the route right now, but it was saying 68, but then when I'm looking at it on Komoot it's more like 80, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know which one's lying to me, Garmin or Komoot, who knows. But it's currently already like 4:30 p.m. The day has just flown by today. You know what they say, time flies when you're dehydrated pedaling on beautiful forest tracks. It's something like that, isn't it? On to the Icknields Way now. Some more flowy trails ahead. Woo!
I was getting so close to the end of this adventure as I pedalled on. All I knew was that I just had one more sleep under the stars and a short, easy day ahead of me tomorrow. So I kept moving forward, feeling the anticipation build with every mile. As the sun started to drop in the sky, I knew I was in for something special tonight. I was in for one hell of a sunset treat. The horizon lit up with the kind of beauty that makes all the hard work worthwhile. A perfect end to a long day on the trails.
Wow, good morning, and that is not a bad view if I don't say so myself. Last night was a bit of a, it's just one of them nights that just doesn't just come together because I just cycled and cycled on. I fixed my computer error so I could really find out how many miles I had to do. I didn't have like 58 or whatever it was telling me. I actually had like 77. So I had to do a bit more miles yesterday to actually give myself the easiest day I possibly could today so we can get a nice finish. So in the end, I think I actually might have just about done another 100 miles. I'm not entirely sure because I had to turn off my computer, stop it and then start. But I think it was around 70 and then I did another 30. So I'm currently at a place I'm just literally on the outskirts of a place called Little Bury on Green. And well, I couldn't find anywhere to camp because all the woodlands is just like overgrown at the moment. All the fields are just full of grass and stuff. So there was just like nowhere to camp. So I found this nice little bench looking over this absolutely awesome view. Didn't get here until 11 o'clock last night. And I was just like, there's a little spot in there and I was gonna put my tent up, but then I was like, I really can't be bothered for like 5 hours. So I just decided to lay on this bench. Admittedly, it's not the most comfortable sleep I've ever had, but it wasn't the worst either. So from here, I have maybe like 25 miles until I get to Stansted St Margaret's. I've probably got maybe like 20 miles of sort of rolling countryside. Well, this beautiful countryside. But once we get there, it's all nice and downhill and flat basically. So I'm gonna get packed away, which is very easy this morning, just a sleeping bag. And I can almost smell the pollution from here. Let's go see that stupid clock.
Late night last night and not much sleep. I was very much looking forward to getting underway today and getting to the end of my adventure, one way or another. But moments after getting on my bike, all that tiredness just vanished and I was feeling great pedaling along the rolling farm tracks with the telltale signs that I was returning to the built-up world.
Yes, please. Don't kick me. Don't charge at me.
Discovering the last of the nature before heading into the hustle and bustle of the capital city as I meandered following the River Lee before heading into the heart of London. Big Ben was my final destination on the Capital Divide, finishing the Capital Divide not exactly how I had planned, but obstacles force us to adapt, to find new solutions, and to appreciate the journey in ways we never anticipated. When the original plan falls apart, it opens us up to new opportunities for experiences we might have otherwise missed. This was the Capital Divide.